Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. Shalom, everybody. Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. To the east, call halal Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Yahweh Kakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders, a great millstone for preaching 100% roof and rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, shalom. This is Matazah Lacham. I'm back at it again for another week of preaching. To preach the downfall of these Edomite, Caucasian, devil sons of bitches. Esau-Edom, the so-called white man. You know, these devils even got them mitigated audacity to shoot one of their own in the face, point blank. Just shoot a woman in the face, it's okay. You know, and then, you know, but that's all is to try to spark off another civil unrest, city riots, different things like that. Trying to spark that shit off again like it was with George Floyd. See, George Floyd, that was a deliberate murder. You just choked him out in front of the entire world. Didn't give a fuck. Donald Trump, Agent Orange, Nero 47, this motherfucker had the murder, unmitigated audacity, you know, to pardon. He pardoned the dude that killed George Floyd. Okay, so, and then J.D. Vance, the vice president of the divided states of Israel, Babylon the Great, okay, he had the unmitigated audacity to pardon the police officer that shot that woman in the face 3 times. Once, 3 times, it don't matter, the bitch ain't here. And then Pam Bondi, okay, this fucking mindless sycophant, she got the unmitigated audacity to try to cause an investigation on her husband. What? How the fuck does that work? I mean, they was married, they got 3 kids. What the fuck does he need to be investigated about? He's not a goddamn domestic terrorist. Okay? Everybody in the world seen that the woman was trying to get away from the police officer. Was trying to get away. Like a young black man gets shot in the back 5 or 6 times running from the police. He on his way running from the motherfucking police, gets shot in the back, and the cop get off scot-free saying that he feared for his life. It's the same goddamn scenario. Esau-Edom, the so-called white man, is a goddamn devil the Bible speaks of. That's the reason why I dubbed the name of the video. You know, Esau-Edom is up to something sinister. And what is this all about? It's all about the implementation of martial law. That's what the fuck he's trying to do. Okay? Salakia, brother you called, couldn't make it today, he was sick. You know what I'm saying? So, and plus, you know, he's scared, his family's scared, you know, because they Mexicans, right? So, you know what I mean? He probably scared to death for some other shit, I don't know, I doubt it, but he might be. You know, his chick is scared for him, his mom is scared for him, dad is too, by trying to tell him to back off of preaching so much. Preach at home, preach in the backyard. Because see, that's basically what's gonna happen to the rest of us. We're gonna have to do the same fucking thing. You know? We're gonna have to preach in the backyard. We're gonna have to preach, you know, and make our live streams until such time as Esau-Edom shut down the entire internet. The brother Aisha Yar down in North Carolina, he said that Esau-Edom, they might, after they shut down YouTube and destroy all of our channels and shit, because we speaking truth in a kingdom based on lies, right? White privilege, white supremacy, streets of gold, all this other bullshit. Okay, so they're gonna take down our videos, our channels, one by one. Okay, and then he was telling us about other platforms that we could go to, because the only people that we're referring to, or we're talking to and talking about, are the Israelites that know this truth. Okay, that's it. Everybody else, we've already told you. We already fucking told you. We tell you every week. We get on there, we make videos every day. We tell you every day about what these Edomite Caucasians is up to, what they're doing, how they do it, what they're planning to do next, and you don't give a fuck. You scroll right on past it like you done lost your fucking mind. So ain't no sense in us being out here very much longer, right? Like it tells you in the biblical scriptures, the famine of the word. Gonna go into the famine of the word. You know, because that's basically what they're going to do. These Edomite devils, man, I already know. I mean, you know, they're the devil. Shit. You know, they are the devil the Bible speaks of, man. You know, they trying to keep the oligarchs in power. Let's see, where was I at? All right. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 20. Right? You know, something I can do quick, you know. Okay, Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 20. Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord that he had taken against Edom, and his purposes that he had proposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. Right? Those that are going to be drawn into the fight or to the conflict is Esau-Edom, Babylon the Great, America. So that, you know, they're going to have to push out, what do you call, the national draft. That's what I was like, damn, it wouldn't register. But yeah, they're going to have to push the national draft. If you're between the ages of 18 and 26, you got to go. They're going to put you, okay, and now remember, Babylon the Great is pushing in different theaters, right? In different theaters, you know, on the world stage. Oh, some monkey nigga over there across the street. I don't know. What are you doing? Some kind of stupid shit. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? Different theaters and different areas on the planet where you're trying to go to war. You want a war with feet on the ground in Venezuela. You want a war with feet on the ground in Greenland. You want a war with feet on the ground in Israel. You want a war with feet on the ground in fucking Tehran, in Iran. You want a war with feet on the ground in India. Out in Pakistan, some goddamn where. I mean, and then you want feet on the ground in Ukraine, which is the home of the Caucasus Mountains, aka the land of Khazaria, the home of these Edomite Caucasians. Those are the caves in the mountainous area where these Edomite devils come from, right? So we try to explain these things to you. People think we're full of shit. So what we try to do is we try to preach down the wall of Babylon the Great, America. Lady Liberty. Liberty is libertas, which is rebellion. Okay? There was never supposed to be a freedom of religion. There was never supposed to be a freedom of choice. There was always supposed to be obedience to the Most High God in heaven, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. But you can't tell nobody that shit. Right? So, the destruction that the Most High Yahweh has proposed for these Edomite Caucasians is destruction. The destruction is coming through intercontinental ballistic thermonuclear missiles. But first, they want to make World War III a ground war. So they have to bring in the national draft. Okay? Because nobody's signing up for the military. Nobody wants to fight. No, everybody understands that all wars are bankers' war. Nobody want to work for the goddamn Bank of International Settlements, blowing people up. So like you're shooting people, unaliving little babies and shit. Okay? But if you want to survive, if you want to go back to back home to America and become a Babylonian citizen, what do they call it, global citizen, you're gonna have to take the mark of the beast, RFID microchip, okay, and that is the size of a grain of rice to be implanted underneath your skin. This is what the fuck they're doing with ICE, putting people in detention facilities so Elon Musk can experiment with his brain implant on a lot of these dissidents. That's what the fuck they're doing, man. Okay? And the people sit up there and they don't want to believe that. They don't want to hear that. I don't believe it. Won't believe it until they stuck in a goddamn FEMA camp trying to get the fuck out. And the only way to get out Okay, the only way to get out of a FEMA camp, okay, is you got to be a willing participant in their cashless system. See? And that's what the fuck they set up, man. They want to cause fear, and they want to bring the air of obedience to what they're doing and what they're planning. So force people into obedience by forcing them into FEMA camps. Scare, punish a few and and scare the rest and put them in line. Right? Jeremiah 49:21. The earth is moved at the noise of their fall. At the cry, the noise thereof was heard in the Red Sea. Where's the Red Sea? The so-called Middle Eastern area, in Egypt, right? Remember the Red Sea? Okay. Egypt, Moses, Aaron, the Israelites, right? 10 plagues of Egypt. Remember, the Red Sea split open. The Israelites went across dry shod. The Pharaoh and his men went off in there to chase him down, to kill him, put him back into slavery, and the walls fell in and drowned every fucking body. They just found actual chariots at the bottom of the Red Sea that are still intact. The wheel, the fucking chariot itself, all of that shit, they dug it up, sucked up all of the dust and all of the stuff around it, scraped it off and pulled it up real slow. Chariots. So that proves that the story of Moses going through the Red Sea and the Red Sea drowning the Pharaoh and the chariots was true, because they found actual chariots and chariot wheels at the bottom in the seashore of the Red Sea. They found that back in 2023. Get that shit. So that gives credence that the Holy Bible is a true book. So what happened to the Israelites actually happened to us. What we've been trying to tell you on street corners, on the highways and byways, tell you to your face. We've been telling you that the Bible is a true book. These goddamn crackers, they know that the Bible is a true book, but they don't want you to believe that it's a true book. That way they get to continue to rule over you with white privilege and white supremacy and a white hegemony to do whatever the fuck they want to, whenever they fuck they want to do it to you. If they want to shoot you in the back, if they want to set you up for failure, put you in jail, they can do that. So what we're out here to do, being fully persuaded in the Holy Spirit, the Rahabakah Kodash, is to try to convince you and persuade you to righteousness, to turn back to the way of the Most High, fear Him, and keep His commandments. That's all we're trying to do. Fuck it. You know, by us doing our job, that means that you received the salvation that the Most High promised you. These Edomites are in their heaven. Brand new cars, brand new Cadillacs, fucking 12-bedroom fucking houses, $300,000 or $400,000 a goddamn year that they make on an average. You know, buying and selling shit on the internet. Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 22. Behold, he shall come up and fly as the eagle and spread his wings over Basra. And at that time, and at that day, shall the heart of the mighty men of Edom be as the heart of a woman in her pains. These Edomites, when they go by here, they're nervous, they're scared. They see a Negro with fringes, with the border of blue. They know that when they start seeing these men risking their lives and their freedom to preach the truth in a country based on lies, murder, and bloodshed, that their kingdom is going to fall down. Now, for the last 30 years or so, since 2007, okay, or more, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone have been preaching the microchip, the quantum dot technology that they want to subcutaneously implant underneath your skin, so this way they can keep track of you. It allows you a particular specific payment system off of RFID readers. Okay, the amount of money that you get paid for every 2 weeks will be in the cloud, attached to a 3-digit barcode system based that's assigned to that particular chip that you got in your body. All of this shit, man. They was telling us about these things 30 years ago. You know, shit, 30 years ago, I had just got out of fucking high school. Okay, I don't know, but I mean, you know, what the fuck I know? I was handling a Playboy and a Hustler magazine. I don't know nothing about it. You know what I mean? Shit, I was trying to find a job after that. I was trying to, trying to be a part of a bullshit society. Ain't nobody told me nothing. Till just recently, within the last 7 years. Other than that, I'd have been in the world doing what everybody else doing. Smoking weed, getting high, doing whatever. But these Edomite Caucasians is scared, they're nervous. They're out here trying to change the narrative, to regain the narrative. And I've already prayed to the Most High God in heaven, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, that these Edomite devils never regain the narrative. Ever. Fuck it. Just tumble completely out of their control. No matter what other type of machinations they try to do to regain the narrative, won't work. It will fail. You see what I'm saying? So, and then, you got Edomites, they mad, pissed off at me. They roll down the street flipping me off. I know y'all probably seen in the background over here. That's crazy. But this is what these Edomites do, man. They're scared. They're nervous. Because what if what we're saying is true, which it is? That means that they got to go back into chains, slavery. It's time to learn how to be a fucking caveman. Crawl around back on all fours. You can't read, you can't write, you can't got no clothes on. They got to go back to that shit. They don't have a choice. They don't have a culture that they can rely on once Babylon the Great falls. The only culture that they have is rape, murder, and pillage. That's all they got. Okay, look, if society falls today, these motherfuckers are going to rape, murder, and pillage, and shed blood. That's all they know how to do. You can tell an Edomite and their characteristics by what they do. They go hunting all the goddamn time. Everywhere. Okay, they pheasant hunting, turkey hunting, bear hunting, lion hunting, giraffe hunting, right? Rabbit hunting, pheasant hunting, beaver hunting. Okay, that's all these devils know how to do. It's shed blood. That's it. They don't know nothing else, man. Hold on, let me go stop here. Let me go to Ecclesiasticus chapter 34, verse 21. Right? The bread of the needy is their life, and he that defraudeth him thereof is a man of blood. Okay? Esau-Edom, the so-called white man, is the bloody man. All he knows how to do is rape, murder, and pillage, and shed blood. That's it. He don't know how to do nothing else. Verse 22, he that taketh away his neighbor's living slayeth him, and he that defraudeth the labor of his hire is a bloodshedder. They laying people off. People are getting fired. People are fucking maxing out, freaking out. Okay, Esau-Edom is a bloodshedder. He's shutting people's job down where they ain't got no job. They don't know what else to do. They can't go to work. How are they going to feed their family? People are losing their houses, right? People are losing their cars. What are they going to feed their kids? How are they going to feed them? They're all homeless, begging for food at the goddamn fast food restaurant. I see it all the time anymore. These people had a house. They had a car. They had a life. They lost their goddamn job and didn't lose their car. They got put out of their house and they ain't got nowhere to stay. Right? Hold on, Salakia. Ecclesiasticus chapter 34, verse 22, right? Wow, now I don't want to work. Goddamn devil, boy. Satan is something else, man. Wow. That's crazy. I'm going to try to go toward this immersion here. Ooh. Yeah, people are stupid, man. Oh, man. Come on, man. Okay. Okay. So I can't use that Bible app. That's crazy. Won't let you. Damn. Ecclesiastes chapter 34, verse 22, right? He that taketh away his neighbor's living slayeth him. Right? So you're losing your jobs. And he that defraudeth the labor of his hire is a bloodshedder. Okay? So that's what these devils do, man. Donald Trump, the first thing he did was tell a goddamn lie, right? Talking about he's going to make America great again, right? That's the first thing he did, was tell a lie. There's going to be jobs aplenty for everybody. Everybody starts getting laid off, losing their job, okay? And then he says they're going to open up the so-called Epstein files. Okay, the first goddamn thing he do is close it up because he's a pedophile. Okay, a PDF file, let's call it like that. Okay? He's a bloodshedder. You know, this motherfucker was financing beauty pageants. The Miss America pageant, the Miss USA pageant was financed by this motherfucker in order for him to get his hands on the young women. Just a grabber, man. That's what he does. Looney tick, man. Okay. Ecclesiastes. Check this out. Ecclesiasticus, the book of Sirach, chapter 33, verse 10. And all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of earth. Right? What color is earth? If you look at the ground, it ain't no fucking pink, is it? Okay? So we know what the Son of the Most High God is not no pink Edomite Caucasian. The Son of the Most High God is a copper-colored man by default. Revelation chapter 1, verse 13 tells you exactly what the Son of God looks like. What the fuck? But they push this picture of this pink long-haired faggot, Cicero Borgia. Right? In much knowledge, the Lord hath divided them and made their ways diverse. Right? So the Most High, in his knowledge, he separated from the bowels of Rebekah, the mother of Jacob and Esau. Jacob and Esau, one to be a so-called black man, the other one to be a so-called white man. He made two different nations of people, and two people shall be separated from her bowels. One shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger. Esau-Edom don't want to serve us. They don't want to do that. They refuse. So what they want to do is try to continue to control the narrative, telling the goddamn lie, saying that they're God's people when they're not. Right? Some of them hath he blessed and exalted, and some of them have he sanctified and set near himself. Right? It tells you the same thing in Psalms 148 and 14. He exalted the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel, are people near unto him, praise ye the Lord. Roughly paraphrased. Right? But some of them hath he cursed and brought low and turned out of their places. Right? Esau-Edom is a vagabond and a fugitive in the fucking earth. They don't have a culture that they can return to. Every nation on the earth has a culture that they stem from in the biblical scriptures that they can go back to, they can rely on. Right? Esau-Edom, the white man, doesn't have a culture. His culture is to steal, kill, and to destroy. That's what they can have to fall back on, is the sword. The Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai gave Esau the fatness of the earth, the dew of heaven from above, and to live by the sword. So that's what they have to rely on for survival. Okay? They're survivalists. They're hunters. They're cavemen by default. You see? So, anyway, as the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it at his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him to render to them as liketh him best. Good is set against evil, and life against death, so the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly. So look upon all the works of the Most High, and there are two and two, one against another. So the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai set us against each other, naturally. If you go to, let's go get it, Ezekiel chapter 35, right? Verse 2, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it, and say unto it, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out mine hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. How is the Most High going to do that? Right? Take away everything away from them. The fatness of the earth, the dew of heaven from above, and the ability to live by the sword. The Most High is going to take all of that from them. Right? Their riches, their houses, everything is going to be made desolate here by the destruction of Babylon the Great that'll be heard in the Red Sea on the other side of the fucking world, okay? And the screams, as far as Palestine, of the people dying here in Babylon the Great and the Day of Judgment, America is going to be split into 3 separate sections. Boom. They're going to be called the stones of emptiness. You won't be able to tell Nebraska from Kansas. You won't be able to tell Texas from Louisiana, from Florida, from California. Everything is going to be all twisted the fuck up. Okay, 3 separate places. It tells you that in Revelation chapter 16, verse 19. Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 4. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. They're going to know that there is a God in the heaven. See, right now, these Edomite devils believe that they're God, that they're related to Sinister Borgia by default, a.k.a. Jeebus Crossed. Okay, that long-haired homosexual white man who raped his own sister and murdered his own brother. This is the motherfucker that they worship every Sunday, the vulnerable day of the sun, set up by the Catholic regime, by the Pope system, right? What you call the Catholic Church, universalist ideology, all into one belief system. That's where Christianity stemmed from. Remember, in the name of Christianity, these motherfuckers raped, murdered, and pillaged the indigenous population of people that were already here. Okay, as a matter of fact, ICE, Immigration, Customs, and Enforcement, is going after the Indians now. I seen a video the other day. I intended to make it on YouTube, that ICE arrested 4 Native Americans, and they only released 1. So where are the other 3? Now, on average, in Customs, Immigration, Customs, and Enforcement, on average, 32 to 50 people die in their fucking custody every week. They die from malnutrition. Okay, they're unalive from malnutrition. You have people that are type 1 and type 2 diabetics, people that have medications, right, that they can't get. They don't have access to, because ICE is holding them until that person that got arrested gets a check from the goddamn government. That's how it works. Okay? Each individual, these motherfuckers in ICE get a check for each motherfucker that they arrest of $3,000 to $5,000. And they hold them in that cell, put a number on them, and they won't be released until they get that fucking money. That's the wickedness of Esau-Edom, the so-called white man, the devil the Bible speaks of. That's the only thing that makes any sense. Anyway, Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity and the time that their iniquity had an end. Okay, our iniquity is over with. But Esau-Edom, the so-called white man, is going to continue to try to destroy as many of us as he can. That's the reason why the motherfuckers is trying to implement civil unrest and national emergency by coming against the Israelites and force them into compliance or force them into acceptance. You see what I'm saying? To try to do whatever they need to do in order to get the people to fight against ICE, thereby giving them complete authority and autonomy through totalitarianism, okay, to come against the people with martial law, shut down these cities. That's what's going on right now. They're trying to provoke the people. They're trying to provoke them to violence, okay, and do that shit deliberately so that's why they can shut these cities down. Well, hurry up and get it over with, you Edomite Caucasian devil and son of a bitch, okay? Just get it over with already. Okay? So it's this way, the faster you come against the prophets, because that's the reason why you're doing it, is to come against the prophets. The faster you come against the prophets means the faster your kingdom falls to the fucking ground. Okay? And the faster that we get the kingdom of heaven on earth as it is in heaven. The faster we get the new bodies, the faster we get immortality. Okay? Some of us are going to lose their life, okay, during the time of Jacob's trouble, which we are at the beginning of. This is the beginning of sorrows. Okay? You see the beginning of sorrows affecting Esau-Edom, the white man. Judgment from the Most High. Something jumped the fuck off. Yep, there come another one. Wow, must have been right down the street. Oh well. Anyway, Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, and the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Okay? Because these devils are bloodshedders. Like it says in Genesis chapter 9, verse 6. He that sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed, for in the image of the Most High made he man. So these devils, they gotta pay for the wickedness that they've done. They don't have a choice. You honestly believe that these motherfuckers want to go into chains and slavery? Like it says in the book of Psalms 149, verse 5 and 6, or 6 through 9, so like you. They don't want to go into chains, they don't want to be no slave. Okay? But they don't have a choice. Like it says in the book of Revelation 18, these motherfuckers ain't got no choice. They don't. Because, okay, let's go get it. Revelation chapter 18. Revelation chapter 18. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, be ye not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Okay? And those are referring to the Israelites that are in the truth, that currently know that they're the Israelites of the Holy Bible. Because you got a lot of our people, so-called black people, that don't realize that they go back, their fathers' bloodline go back to the 12 tribes of the 12 tribes of Israel. They don't want to believe it. They still want to believe that the white man, blonde-haired, blue-eyed devil, is going to save them for their trouble and allow the women to continue to go off to get their subsidy check, to get their tax, their income tax check, right? So they're going to continue to kiss the white man and to crack his ass to get something out of it. Right? For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works in the cup which she had filled to her double. So whatever America, Babylon the Great, has done to all of the Israelites by scattering them through the transatlantic slave trade, mistreating them, okay, and enslaving them, and oppressing them, and shedding their blood, okay, the Most High is going to put upon these Edomite Caucasians double for what the fuck they did to us. That's going to be horrible for 1,000 years. But you know, you're going to have Israelites that are waiting in the spirit realm where the Most High dwells to come back upon the face of the earth in order to, for the Edomites to receive the judgment that they've done to the children of Israel. Okay, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. These Edomite Caucasians got to pay for the bloodshed of their fathers, man. Fuck it. We had to pay for the bloodshed of our fathers and the disobedience of not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments that the Most High commanded us. Look what the Most High did. He put a people that are cave beasts over us and over all of the nations of the world and gave them power. Okay? The Most High can do all things, man. If he can make a goddamn caveman crawl out of a cave, put a sword in his hand with some poison and tell him to throw it in the water and go kill everybody and take over the world, what happened? These cave beasts came out of a goddamn cave. They found a sword, they found a vial of poison and threw it in the water. You got bubonic plague, typhoid Mary, black plague. They spread from Ireland, Scotland, all through the European nations. During that time, the Byzantine Empire was ruled over by us. And they attacked us with biological fucking warfare. Okay? That's how they took us down, man. They just sat back and waited until we fucking died. Then there was nothing left of us. And those of us that were strong enough, whose immune systems weren't compromised, okay, lost the battle against these Edomite Caucasians. They went in claiming to be kings and queens, right? Fresh out of a goddamn cave, wearing wigs. They thought it was a taboo, okay, to take a bath. Right today, you still got Edomite Caucasians believe that they only need to take a bath once a week or once a month. No bullshit. Then you wonder why they got lice and crabs and stink. You wonder why George Washington took all of the teeth out of the indigenous population of people's head, and the Indians took their teeth and shoved teeth up in his mouth of dead Indians. This is the wickedness of these goddamn devils, man, and the reason why they've got to be stopped. Okay? Because all they can do is just do it all over again. Okay? So, Revelation chapter 18, verse 7. How much has she glorified herself and lived deliciously? So much torment and sorrow give her, for she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Right? And not about, 5 or 10 years ago, these Edomites were at the top of their hubris. Okay, right before 2000, America was the richest country on the fucking earth. Before September 11th. Right? After that, they put in the Patriot Act, and there was surveillance of everybody's money, monetary systems, every goddamn thing. Everything went sliding downhill at a 45-degree angle on roller skates ever since. And these Edomite devils get mad at us and call and blame it on us. How the fuck is it our fault? You in control of the goddamn world, pussy, not us. Revelation chapter 18, verse 8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, who judgeth her. Okay? So the Most High got it in his mind, okay, and it's going to put it in the hearts of these Edomite nations to fulfill his will. Like it says in Revelation chapter 17. Right? Let's start at verse 12. Revelation chapter 17, verse 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. So you got the BRICS nations, and then you're going to have 10 nations on top of the BRICS nations from NATO. They're going to join BRICS. That's going to leave America by itself. Okay? Once America is standing by itself, you're going to have the Israeli by itself. They're going to have no choice but to use the Samson option. You see what I mean? These have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. Right? They're going to give their strength and power unto BRICS, which goes up into Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 1 through 7. Right? And then Ezekiel 38, verse 10, let's just get them. I'm going to just get them, okay? And I'm going to put it all together where it makes sense. All right. Revelation chapter 17, verse 14. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. Now those that are called right now are those of us risking our lives and freedom on these highways and byways, pouring out of our belly living water. The living water is the truth. The biblical scriptures with proper breakdown. So this way you'll understand what you're reading. That's the reason why Philip said to the Babylonian or Ethiopian eunuch, understand what thou readest. A lot of people go to church, they don't understand what they're reading. They just read it because it fucking sounds good. Because it makes them feel good. But they don't have the proper teachers to teach them on what they should understand about the biblical scriptures and what they should do to avoid punishment. Okay? Gonna be a lot of flat tires today. Anyway. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the whore sitteth are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. Right? Like it says in Habakkuk. Let me see. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 5. Yet also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all peoples. Right? Back to Revelation 17, and 14 15, and he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. Right? And these Edomite nations, all of these different nations, they're in the process of hating the whore. America, Babylon the Great. They're in that process right now. Look, Donald Trump is telling Greenland that they're going to go over to Greenland and take over Greenland. Greenland has made a pact with Russia. Okay, Greenland has made a pact with the European nations. What's her name? Ursula von der Leyen, the queen of the EU nations, told Greenland, don't worry, we got your back. Okay, Russia said, if you need any help, call us. China said, if you need weapons, we'll send fighter jets. So Greenland got all kind of backing to stop U.S. troops from going into Greenland to take it over the place. Okay? Now, if U.S. troops are going to Greenland, Greenland is going to exit the NATO nations. And NATO is going to dissolve itself from any attachment to Babylon the Great, America. That's biblically prophesied to happen. I'm reading it. Revelation chapter 17, verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. Right? The whore of Babylon is America. All these nations have fornicated with America through tariffs, sanctions, and the oppression of the children of Israel. Right? Like it tells you in Revelation chapter 18, verse 11. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. Okay? Revelation chapter 18, verse 11. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. What that means, they're not buying their merchandise, is because America is a consumer nation. All they do is buy and consume. Buy and consume. Right? That's the reason why America seems to be the richest nation on the face of the earth. Right? They got the highest wages, all hourly wages. Right? But they betray the people with income tax and the IRS, right? Because earnings are taxable. So you being an employee that works for a corporation, that corporation has to be taxed, not the employee. The employee has wages that are non-taxable income. Okay? So they transgress by wine. They transgress by fraud. Income tax is fraud, man. Okay? Revelation 18, verse 12. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all fine wood and all manner of vessels of ivory and all manner of vessels of most precious wood and of brass and of iron and marble and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men. Okay? They buy and sell people. That's how America became rich. That's how America became great. The New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ was created based on slaves. Slaves were the commodity to buy and sell. If you have a birth certificate and a social security number, these are letters and certificates of ownership. Okay? What that means to you is that if you have a social security card, if you have a birth certificate, you have owners. Somebody, if you follow the money on the back of your social security card, you have a number that's red. Type that into your Google search engine. It's going to pull up a Federal Reserve somewhere in the United States. On the back of your birth certificate, you have the same red number. It might be a different number, but it's in red or black. Okay? In large letters. These numbers go back to a federal bank, right? The Federal Reserve Bank, whether it's on the East Coast or on the West Coast. That Federal Reserve Bank is a privately owned bank by the international bankers of the Bank of International Settlements, owned by the elites at Davos, Switzerland. Okay? They own you. You are property by maritime law. Okay? That's the reason why they have the maritime flag in the courtroom. When you go to court, they have the American flag with yellow fringes. The yellow fringes represents maritime law. If you're in that courtroom and they charge you, the judge has to ask you, do you understand what you're being charged with? Tell them you do not understand and that you need an attorney. If you tell them that you understand, they will charge you. And they have reason to put you in prison. And consistently keep you in the system. Okay? That's the plan. Revelation chapter 18, verse 13. And cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men. They bought and sold you during the transatlantic slave trade. They still buy and sell you at your worth based on your job description right now on the fucking New York Stock Exchange. Okay? You're still property. Our job is to preach to you and tell you that you can be free through the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach. Through faith and belief on his name. Our job is to tell you to fear the Most High God in heaven and keep his commandments to the best of your ability. The law was never done away with. It was never done away with. Okay? That's the sinister machinations of Esau-Edom, the so-called white man. To tell you that the law is done away with so you can continue to commit sin. See, they know that this is a spiritual battle between good and evil. They know it. You don't. Our job is to explain this to you and give you the weapons, the spiritual weapons to fight back spiritually through prayer and supplication and fasting. That way the Lord will hear your prayer and do something about it. Okay? Revelation chapter 17, verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore and make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So the EU nations are already girded up to turn their plowshares into spears and their pruning hooks into swords, where the weak shall say, I am strong, like it says in Joel chapter 3 verse 9. all of the nations are creating weapons to fight against Esau-Edom, the so-called white man. That's the plan. Because these Edomite devils are losing their fucking mind. They're going and turning against their own NATO nations. They're turning against their own people for natural resources. Revelation chapter 17, verse 17. For Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and to give their kingdom unto the beast, unto the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. That's what these motherfucking Edomites are in the process of doing right now. And you don't see it. All you see is a disgruntled nigga talking shit on a street corner. That's all you see. But you don't see the biblical prophecies unfolded right before your eyes. And we're telling you to your face what's going to happen next. And you don't care. All you care about is what's on TV. Who's playing football this weekend? Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 15. For lo, I will make thee small among the heathen and despised among men. The Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua has made these Edomite despised. Look at their actions. Look what they're doing. Look what Agent Orange is doing. Look what ICE is doing. Esau-Edom, the so-called white man, is being made despised among all of the peoples of the earth for what they're doing to their own people and what they're doing to the indigenous population of people in different lands in which they dwell. Verse 16, Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 16. Thy terribleness hath deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, that holdest the height of the hill. Though thou shouldst make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Lord of hosts. Okay? He says the same thing in the book of Obadiah. Esau-Edom, the so-called white man, hates the book of Obadiah. Okay? Because it tells them that they're surely going to fall from power. All the men of thy confederacy, okay, let's get it. Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, and thou art greatly despised. Everybody in the fucking world is starting to hate white people, so-called white people, because of the bloodline, the blood that they're shedding on the earth of the children of Israel. Look what they're doing to the Latinos. You think it's going to stop with them? They're going to come after us next. They're already picking on the Somalis, so this way the ICE agents won't be able to tell between a so-called African American and a Somali from Ethiopia. They won't be able to tell the difference to a goddamn Edomite Caucasian. All black people look alike anyway. See? They're doing that shit deliberately and on purpose. Obadiah 1 and 3. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? That's the pride of Esau-Edom, the so-called white man. Proud bastard. Do whatever he want to do. Do it till he's satisfied. Right? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest amongst the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, the Lord of hosts. Shartaza Bawat. Yahweh. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they've had enough? Esau-Edom goes through the earth, like it says in John chapter 10, verse 10, the thief cometh not but for to steal, kill, and to destroy. What is Donald Trump doing? He's a fucking thief. He wants to go over to Greenland and take Greenland from his own people. Right? He already took America. He wants to go to Venezuela and steal Venezuela and take their natural resources. Next thing you know, the motherfucker's gonna go over to Cuba and steal Cuba and take their natural resources. Then he's gonna try to go to Canada and steal their natural resources by the force of the sword, using his military. That's the reason why he's going to have to enact the national draft. If you between 18 and 26 years old, you will be drafted into the military against your will. Okay? If grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? Esau-Edom, the so-called white man, is a fucking thief by nature. He ain't gonna leave nothing but a desolate wasteland. That is what these Edomites do. Steal, kill, and destroy. They're thieves by nature. They'll steal the gold filling out of your fucking teeth. If they don't have teeth, they'll kill you and take the teeth out of your mouth and put their teeth, your teeth, in their mouth. George Washington did it during the Revolutionary War, right? Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 6. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? How do you do that? You do research on this goddamn devil. I did a background check on Esau-Edom, and it came back he's the fucking devil the Bible speaks of. Verse 7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee, and there is none understanding in him. Let me see if I can go get that in the NLT. So I can get the other version of it. Uh-oh. I didn't know I had to get... I didn't know I needed the internet. Okay, Salakia. Right quick, y'all. Hold on right quick. Okay, let me turn on my mobile hotspot. Okay, Salakia. I had to turn on my hotspot so I could get those other biblical scriptures. There it is. All right. Okay. Aha. Let's go get it. Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 7. NLT. All your allies will turn against you. They will help to chase you from your land. Okay? Now, with Russia and China offering weapons and soldiers on the ground to fight against the troops of America when they come in to try to steal Greenland, okay, that makes America surrounded. You have Russia and Cuba with the nuclear submarines, and then you have China dropping off nuclear-powered jets in Greenland, okay? Alaska is actual Russian territory that was stolen by America. Russia simply hasn't made a fuss about it, okay? So Alaska is Russian territory. America is surrounded, okay? You have Chinese troops that are threatening to make a pact with Mexico to stop America from going into Mexico, okay? So wherever America is trying to steal natural resources from, those nations are asking for help from BRICS, okay, which is Gog and Magog, right? All your allies will turn against you. They will help to chase you from your land. They will promise you peace while plotting to deceive and destroy you. Your trusted friends will set traps for you and you won't even know about it. Okay? So the book of Obadiah is a biblical prophecy concerning America. All your allies will promise you peace while plotting to deceive and to destroy you. Right? So Ursula von der Leyen, the queen of EU, is plotting to deceive and destroy America, Babylon the Great, by switching over to BRICS. Once America goes into Greenland to steal their natural resources. Once they go into Mexico to steal the natural resources. But America's playbook is to destabilize the government of those nations in which they want to steal the natural resources. So what they do is they send in economic hitmen, right? These economic hitmen, their job is to go in and negotiate terms of financial and economic surrender to the government of America, Babylon the Great. If that doesn't work, then they send in jackals, you know, dark web SEAL teams, right? Where these individuals would go in and to deliberately destabilize the government. They also use other means through the George Soros Foundation, or the Good Hand or the Good People's Foundation, right? And what they do is they use agent provocateurs to provoke the people to protest against the government. And in all that chaos, they assassinate the leadership of the government or kidnap the leadership of that legitimate government, that sovereign government, and thereby America sets in a puppet leader in place of the legitimate leader of that sovereign government, which allows America to come in and take the natural resources. That's what they did in Venezuela. Okay, that's what they did in Cuba. That's what they're going to do again in Iran. That's what they're going to try to do in Mexico. That's what they're going to do in any other place where America wants to steal the people's natural resources. Okay? Joel chapter 3. Verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Okay? So the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua has a plan to bring all the nations down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. Joel chapter 3 verse 1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, the valley of Yahweh's judgment. Okay? And will plead with them there. To plead in biblical prophecy means to punish. That's what plead means. It means to punish, to destroy. Okay? It don't mean, oh, please don't hurt my people. Fuck that bullshit. This is a God that you're up against. He ain't gonna ask you nothing. He's just gonna kick your ass. Ain't no sense in being mad about it. You kicked everybody else's ass, and now you want to go steal everybody's natural resources. So the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua has got it in his mind to destroy you from off the face of the fucking earth. And he's going to put it in the minds of your allies to deceive, plot, and destroy you from within by turning NATO against you, having them sign up with BRICS, which is Gog and Magog. Gog is Vladimir Putin, and Magog is the land on which Gog sits, which is Russia, the same continent as China. Okay? So all of the nations pleading for help to get away from the wicked regime of America, stealing their natural resources, is calling on BRICS. They're calling on Gog and Magog. Right? Joel chapter 3 verse 2. I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. And they have cast lots for my people. They have given a boy for a harlot and a girl for wine, that they might drink. Okay? So they parted the Lord's land. And said, Ezekiel chapter 36 verse 2, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because the enemy hath said against you, aha, even the ancient high places are ours in possession. The ancient high places, right? They have the people of the book in their possession, right? Okay. And then, in addition to that, not only do they have the people in their possession, okay, but they stole the land. Therefore, O Son of Man, give the mountains of Israel this message from the sovereign Lord. Your many enemies have attacked you from all directions, making you the property of many nations and the object of much mocking and slander. Right? That's exactly what these devils have done to our people. They scattered our people amongst the nations and parted his land and sold a boy for a harlot and a girl for wine through the transatlantic slave trade. They're still doing it, like I said earlier in the video, in the New York Stock Exchange. If you got a birth certificate and a social security card, they're buying and selling your physical financial worth on the goddamn NASDAQ. Okay? As a slave, as commodities. Right today, these Edomites do not change. Like it says in Isaiah 55:19. The Most High shall afflict them, he that abideth of old, Selah, because they have no changes, therefore they fear not the Most High. These devils don't fear the Most High. They think they are God. All the nations come to them in want of all things. So since America is running out of all things, they're going about the earth stealing natural resources from everybody else, which is going to eventually bring about their fucking downfall. Joel chapter 3, Salaki. Verse 10, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. And right now, all of the BRICS nations and all of the nations that are signing up with BRICS, okay, are trying to beat their plowshares into spears and their pruning hooks into swords. They're selling their natural resources for weapons, purchasing them from China and from Russia. They're getting ready for World War fucking III. Russia is right now training African military troops. Okay? They're going to do everything they can to put a stop to these Edomite Caucasians running all over the fucking world, running them up, stealing people's natural resources. They're going to burn America, Babylon the Great, with fire through thermonuclear heat. That's how it's going to go down. That's how it's going to go down. And these Edomite devils don't want that. So what they're going to try to do is stop the prophets from preaching the truth. Joel chapter 3 verse 11, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, gather yourselves together round about, thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. So while these devils are gathering for war, the Most High is going to bring the angels and the chariots. Okay? And they're going to be, right, posted behind the moon, posted in the asteroid field surrounding the earth, traveling back and forth to the earth through these military bases, turning thermonuclear weapons on and off, making sure they get them ready for the day of the Lord. See? Let's see. Isaiah, there it is, Isaiah chapter 40. Verse 1. Comfort ye my people, saith your God, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua. Speak ye comfortably to Jerusalem, and cry unto her that her warfare is accomplished, for she hath received the Lord's hand double for all her sins. And that's the reason why we're out here. We proclaim the salvation of the Most High God in heaven, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Okay? And we try to do everything we can to fully persuade our people to repent, which simply means to change your mind and go back and keep the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability. The faith in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua will cover you and where you make mistakes in keeping God's law. We know you can't keep the Sabbath perfectly. It's impossible. Esau-Edom, the white man, says the Sabbath is from Saturday sundown to Sunday sundown, right? Esau-Edom, the so-called white man, says that the Sabbath is from Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. Esau-Edom, the so-called white man, says the Sabbath is from Wednesday to Thursday. You see what I'm saying? They got it all fucked up. The true Sabbath is from the new moon of every month. And we can't even get that perfect because it's based on the Gregorian calendar. But Pope Gregory the VI that created the calendar, right? And he created the Gregorian calendar based on, you know, all of the fictitious false gods of Horus, Mithra, Bacchus, Thor, Phrygia, right? They got the moon god, Ishtar, or Isis, right? For the moon, for Monday. Then you got Tuesday, supposed to be the day of tears, for Tyr, the god of war. Okay. Then you got Wednesday, for what is it? I think his name is Bacchus, or Diana, queen of the Ephesians, the day of weddings. Then you have Thor for Thursday, right? God of thunder and lightning. Then you have Friday for Phrygia, the wife of Odin, right? The goddess of fried foods, or whatever the fuck that's about. You see? It's all based on bullshit. Anyway, Isaiah chapter 40, verse 15. Behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket and are counted as the small dust of the balance. Behold, he taketh up the isles as a very little thing. But getting back to the Sabbath, we base it based on the new moon of every month. Okay? That's where the word month come from. It's based on the new moon. That's where the day Monday comes from. Okay? Okay, also, what is it? Ishtar and Isis. All kinds of fucking false god worship. Okay, Molech, all that bullshit, man. These gods ain't real, and all of these gods have one thing in common. They were all born on the same goddamn day, December the 25th. You got Ishtar, Ayana, Semiramis, Diana, Columbia, the Virgin Mary, Osiris, Baal, Zeus, Baal, Jehovah, Molech, Jebus Cross, Iasus, Serapis Christus, Bacchus, Mithra, and Horus. All of these false gods were born on the same goddamn day. Behold, the nations that worship all these false gods, right, are as a drop of a bucket and are counted as the small dust of the balance. Behold, he taketh up the isles as a very little thing. And Lebanon is not sufficient to burn, nor the beasts thereof sufficient for a burnt offering. Here's my point. All nations before him, being his name is Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, the creator of the heavens, the earth, the sea, all that is therein, and the foundation of water. All nations before him are as nothing. They are counted to him less than nothing and vanity. They are counted as the drop of a bucket. It says it again in another biblical scripture. Okay. In let's get it. 2nd Ezra, chapter 6. Right? I'll start at verse 54. 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, verse 54. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, Of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. As for the other people, which also come of Adam, right? All the other heathen nations come from Adam, right? Okay, and out of the seed and loins of Abraham come all peoples, right? Multitudes and nations, right? Thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and dost liken the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. So the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, doesn't give a damn about any other nation on the face of the earth, but the nation of Israel consisted of the nation of Judah and Jerusalem. The nation of Judah and Israel that consists of Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. That's the reason why Esau-Edom is coming against the Native Americans and the Latinos, because he knows they are God's chosen people, calling them illegal immigrants. If anybody needs to be called a goddamn illegal immigrant, it ought to be a fucking Peckerwood. That's real talk. Edomite Caucasian. They're the ones who should be called illegal. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 8. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 8. Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. So while these devils are putting us in FEMA camps, concentration camps, and green zones, and detention facilities, raping our women, raping our men, and unaliving some of us before they release us back into society, okay, we have to wait upon the Lord until he rises up to the prey. The prey in the biblical context is Esau-Edom, the so-called white man, the devil the Bible speaks of. You see? Right? Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. So this is World War III we're talking about. But first, it's going to be a ground war. And in order to get the ground war to come about, they have to institute martial law, thereby default bring in the national draft. So anywhere between, if you're between 18 and 26 years old, you're going to be drafted into the military. If you have a job, okay, and you had to sign up with the selective service. If you're in the selective service, you got to sign up for the military. Jim Crow Joe Biden, he signed it into law under his regime that women have to be drafted into the military under the national draft. So all of these nigger women, these N-dubs, are going to do everything they can to get back in order. But it'll be too late. Because they got to go fight for this country. They got to go fight for income tax to get their extra money back for their when they can file double income tax to get money back for their kids. Right? They got to go fight in the military for that now. They don't have a choice. Isaiah chapter 34, verse 1. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter. Right? So he wants all the nations, as it is written in the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 2, to come down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, where he will plead or punish all the nations there. Right? He wants all the nations to beat their spears, beat their pruning hooks into spears, and their other items to swords, their pruning hooks into swords, and say that they're strong. And all these nations are signing up with bricks in order to purchase weapons and military personnel by selling their resources to Russia and China. Because all of these different nations are vying for a position of the next ruler of the world. That's the plan. See, the elites are upset at the fact that the Israelites are waking up to the fact that they're God's chosen people. And the elites are scared. They're nervous. So they're telling Agent Orange, Nero 47, aka Donald Trump, to act like a wild man, stealing natural resources from their own people in order to get a reaction out of the nations, to join up against Babylon the Great, America, to melt it with thermonuclear heat. These nations remember what happened under the regime of King David. They remember that they had to keep the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God in heaven. They remembered that they lost friends and family members because they violated the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God in heaven. See, in the kingdom of heaven on earth, you violate the law as a heathen nation, your entire family is going to be put to death. Your entire family is going to be punished for what you did. That's how the law, statutes, and commandments work. And the heathen nations know it. That's the reason why they have false gods and false ideologies that allows them to go off. But the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is going to put the Israelites back in charge, as was his original intention to start with. Okay? So that's what's going to happen. Isaiah chapter 34. Verse 3, their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. Okay? So, like it says in Isaiah chapter 54, verse 16, I have made the smith that create the coals in the fire. Let's get that right quick. Isaiah chapter 54, verse 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire. The Most High created Oppenheimer in the womb and put it in his mind to have the ability, or to create the ability, or the circumstances surrounding the ability to split an atom. And out of the splitting of that atom would create great fervent heat that spreads out and destroys everything in its path. right? Isaiah chapter 54, verse 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to be destroyed. Okay? So the waster to be destroyed, that waster is thermonuclear device. These thermonuclear devices are created by the smith, right? You have individuals that create thermonuclear weapons, thermonuclear detonation devices. Okay? That's what they're trying to do in Iran, okay, by trying to purify uranium in their own country. Donald Trump tried to stop that, remember? By using those bunker buster bombs a couple of years ago. What was it, last year, I think? Donald Trump used bunker buster bombs, right, to destroy the thermonuclear factories that were purifying uranium over in Iran. You see, they're doing the shit deliberately and on purpose, right? Isaiah 54 and 17. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment, thou shalt condemn. So you got nigger scoffers and mockers driving by here talking shit about the signs that I put out here, which are receipts that prove that Esau-Edom is the devil, the devil the Bible speaks of. These fucking devils. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is of me, saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. But these Edomite devils, they just go on and scoff and mock. They tripping on the Babylonian Talmud that says it's okay for a white man to stick his penis in a 6-year-old child. They think that punk shit's funny. Right? And they think that they're just gonna get away with it because they've been getting away with it for so long, see? But the Most High done had enough. So he's gonna destroy these people from off the face of the earth. Mark my words, they gotta go, man. Ain't you sick and tired of getting your ass up every day going to goddamn work? Ain't you sick and tired of having this, every time you get paid, all your money is gone? After you pay all your goddamn bills every fucking month? You can't take your woman out to eat, to the movies, buy clothes for the kids, nothing? Ain't you tired of that shit? Stupid bastard. You actually want to goddamn continue to be a fucking slave to these devils? Who do you think you paying all your money to? Huh? Who are you paying all your fucking money to? Bill collectors. Who are these bill collectors? They have all the natural resources, all the natural assets to keep your house running. Okay? So you have to be a fucking slave every month to pay your bills, to pay your rent, your mortgage, just to keep a roof over your head. Ain't you tired of that shit? Okay? So what we're trying to do is bring about the destruction of Babylon the Great by preaching down the walls of Babylon. Preach their destruction into the air. The Most High will hear our words and come against these goddamn animals. Isaiah chapter 34. Verse 4. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their flesh all their host shall fall down as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. Now I know you done heard this before over and over again about that movie called Terminator 2 Judgment Day, where you had Sarah Connor holding on to the fence and the bitch came apart, right? That's where it's talking about all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth from off the vine. Well, all her flesh came off her body. Okay. Verse 5. For my sword shall be buried in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. Okay. The people of the Most High God's curse to judgment are the wicked. See that sign right there? Job chapter 9 verse 24. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Right? You got John Mallor, Nathan Rothschild, David Rockefeller, Jacob Rothschild, David M. Rothschild, Evelyn Rothschild, David Rothschild, Prince Philip. Prince Philip said when he died, he wanted to come back as a fucking virus just to kill people. Sheldon Alderson, Rupert Murdoch, Lloyd Blankenfeld, Zbigniew Brzezinski, Harry Kissinger, right? George Soros, George Bush, Robert Kagan, and hell, Savant. Those are just a few. But now they have new figureheads that are called the wicked now. Okay? You have Yuval Noah Harari. You have the guy with Google and Meta. I forget his name. It's so commonplace, I don't see how I could have forgot that. Let's see, you got Clown Slob. Okay. And you have a myriad of other individuals that are at Davos, Switzerland, I think either today or tomorrow, talking about how they're going to handle this new world order and how fast they're going to roll it out. Okay? Their 6G technology, how fast they're going to roll it out. Okay? That's what they're planning on doing, man. Isaiah chapter 34, verse 6. Well, let's skip down to verse 8. For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion. And what's the controversy? That the children of Israel are Latinos, blacks, and Native Indians that have been scattered into all nations, where the land of Israel has been parted amongst the heathen nations, where they say, aha, the land of Israel is ours in possession, right? Where they say, and where is it, in Ezekiel chapter 35 verse 10, where they say, because thou hast said, these two nations and these two countries shall be mine, we will possess it, whereas the Lord was there. The two nations, okay, are Judah and Jerusalem, Judah and Israel, right? And the two countries are the land of Israel and the land of Azareth that they call America, okay? These two nations and these two countries shall be mine, and we will possess it, whereas the Lord was there. So they call themselves God, Jesus Christ, saying that God is white, Jesus is white, Paul the Apostle is white, the apostles is white, the prophets are white, everybody's a goddamn cracker, right? That's the controversy. The controversy has been re-sparked because the Israelites are coming out standing on street corners, risking our lives and freedom to spread the truth of the gospel, okay, breaking everything down as far as these biblical scriptures and what they actually mean, as opposed to what them pastors in church tell you a goddamn lie what they think it means, okay? And they're coming up scoffing and mocking out here on the street corners. Coming up scoffing and mocking to the apostles and the prophets. Talking shit out the side of their neck. Speaking their perpetual hatred and anger for the prophets. Just like they did in the old days, they're doing it again today. Nothing changes with the people. Like it says in Ecclesiastes chapter 4 verse 16, there's no end to all the people. Psalms 55 and 19, they have no changes. Like it says in Isaiah chapter 30, right? Verse 9. Let's start at verse 8. Now go and write it before them in a table and in a book, that it may be for the time to come forever, that this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of the Lord, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceit. In the book of Isaiah chapter 30, in the NLT, they say that these people are stubborn rebels who refuse to pay attention to the Lord's instructions. They tell the seers, stop seeing visions. They tell the prophets, don't tell us what is right. Don't tell us what is right. Tell us nice things. Tell us lies. Because they're used to being lied to at these goddamn Christian churches out there. Down the street, around the corner down there, at these Catholic churches. These temples, these Baal temples, where they worship Baal Peor. Okay? They say, get you out of the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. In the NLT, forget all this gloom and doom. Get off your narrow path. Stop telling us about your Holy One of Israel. Because to these scoffers and mockers, the Holy One of Israel, whose name is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, it's not the God that they worship. They worship Jesus Christ that loves everybody. God loves everybody bullshit. See? They ain't the same God. See? Says the same thing in 2 Peter, take it back. Salakia. 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 3. Knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lusts. And these people, these scoffers and mockers, are doing the same thing. Don't tell us about the Holy One of Israel. We don't want to hear it. They get on YouTube, TikTok, talking shit. Everything, man. It's crazy. Wow, boy. They moving too. Judgment from the Lord. Ain't nothing but judgment from the Lord. That's all it is. Right? 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 3. Knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lusts. Most importantly, I want to remind you that in the last days, scoffers will come, mocking the truth and following their own desires. They will say, what happened to the promise that Yahushua is coming again? From before the times of our ancestors, everything has remained the same since the world was first created. That's what they say on these TikTok videos talking shit. Let's get Psalms chapter 110. Yep, the Most High gonna deal with their ass though. Ain't no doubt about that. Psalms 110, verse 5. Psalm 110, verse 5. The Lord at thy right hand shall strike through kings in the day of his wrath. Verse 5, NLT. The Lord stands at your right hand to protect you. He will strike down many kings when his anger erupts. Okay? So he's going to strike down Agent Orange Nero 47. Because that motherfucker's Agent Orange Donald Trump is Nero in the reincarnation, man. Ain't no other logical explanation. Right? Verse 6, he will punish the nations and fill their lands with corpses. He will shatter the heads over the whole earth. Okay? So the Most High said that these devils, they're going to be destroyed and exterminated from off the face of the motherfucking earth. In the name of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. They're going to fall down. Let's read it again. The Lord stands at your right hand to protect you. He will strike down many kings when his anger erupts. He will punish the nations and fill their lands with corpses. He will shatter the heads over the whole earth. Right? KJV, he shall judge among the heathen. He will fill the places with the dead bodies. He shall wound the heads over many countries. So all these nations, they gonna fall down, man. It's an inevitability. And all these devils are trying to do everything they can to try to cease from this inevitability of happening. Okay? But it ain't gonna work. Right? Ezekiel chapter 33. Verse 30. Also, thou son of man, the children of thy people still are talking against thee by the walls and in the doors of the houses, and speak one to another, everyone to his brother, saying, come, I pray you, and hear what is the word that cometh forth from the Lord. And they come unto thee as the people cometh, and they sit before thee as my people. They hear thy words, but they will not do them. So our people come by here, they honk the horn, they stand on their bicycles, they stand and read these signs when they walk by. They read the rebuke of the Most High God as it is written in these signs, written in the Holy Scriptures, and these receipts I got behind me and that you saw in front of me. But do you think they'll listen? Do you think they'll do the same thing? They'll do what God says? Hell no. They ain't gonna do it. Right? For with their mouth they show much love, but their heart goeth after their covetousness. So my people come pretending to be sincere and sit before you. They listen to your words, but they have no intention of doing what you say. Wow. I got to read that again. NLT, Ezekiel 33 verse 31. So my people come pretending to be sincere and sit before thee. They listen to your words, but they have no intention of doing what you say. Their mouths are full of lustful words, and their hearts seek only after money. You are very entertaining to them, like someone who sings love songs with a beautiful voice or plays fine music on an instrument. They hear what you say, but they don't act on it. See? And 2/3 of our people are going to be left here and melted because at the time of their visitation, they didn't give a fuck. They went on about their covetousness. Right? Lucky. Ordo out of abkeo. The phrase order out of chaos is loosely based on the Latin phrase ordo abkeo, translated as out of chaos comes order. This is a means to impose totalitarian control over society. First, by creating chaos through various forms of subterfuge. Okay? And some of the subterfuge that they went on about, they got Alex Jones, the one black chick. Okay, these are forms of controlled opposition. Tucker Carlson and other truth seekers or truthers, as they call them, right? That way that they are able to use Project Pogo and Project Zypher through Palantir and put certain individuals that click on those videos into a specific database. Put them on a specific red list, blue list, yellow list, and green lists. And what these lists do, okay, is they allow these individuals to impose totalitarian control over those specific individuals by forcing them onto through martial law, which is a temporary or indefinite state in which military authorities replace civilian government with military forces or troops and suspend civilian legal processes, which is the Posse Comitatus Act of 1878. And that's what Donald Trump is trying to do by threatening to push the Insurrection Act, okay, which is the suspension of the Posse Comitatus Act, which is the suspension of legal process, right? Due process, to be judged in a court of law by a judge by your peers. In a military tribunal, you're immediately subject to summary execution. Summary execution is the act of unaliving a person without a fair trial or legal process. So without due process and without Posse Comitatus of 1798, you're fucked. Right? It is a tactic used to enforce compliance and terrorize a population. And that's what they're in the process of doing right now through immigration, customs, and enforcement. Okay? Is they're trying to enforce compliance and terrorize a population of people. So they're trying to terrorize Americans. Right? summary executions are often associated with counterinsurgency, terrorism, guerrilla warfare, and other situations where normal procedures for handling prisoners are disrupted. Okay? So by instituting the Insurrection Act, they can disrupt the handling of prisoners under the Posse Comitatus Act and summarily put the so-called illegal immigrants that they're grabbing at random and just put their ass to death right there on the fucking spot. That's the reason why they shot that bitch in her fucking head. Okay? Let's read it again. Summary execution is the act of unaliving a person without a fair trial or legal process, which brings the suspension of the Posse Comitatus Act of 1878, which gives certain rights and protections to citizens of a population. With that being removed, under military law, you can be summary executed on the fucking spot just because they had a bad day. Okay? They can unalive you without a fair trial or legal process. They can break your arm. They can unalive anywhere between 32 to 50 people a week that they pick up in these ice raids and unalive them. Okay? And actually goddamn get away with it. It is a tactic used to enforce compliance and terrorize a population. Okay? Summary executions are often associated with counterinsurgency. It's not Immigration's Customs and Enforcement a counterinsurgency? Are they not surging up and down your fucking street with military gear, walking up and down the street, using flashlights in your car at night, flashing lights on your house at night? Huh? That's counterinsurgency and terrorism. They're terrorizing the population. Right? That's what they're doing. Let's go to, oh shit. My deal done cut off. Oh, there it is. Okay. Like, oh no, it done cut off on me. Right? Ezekiel chapter 33, verse 33. But when all these terrible things happen to them, as they certainly will, then they will know a prophet has been among them. Okay? So all of our people that's out there scoffing and mocking will understand that the Most High had sent amongst them prophets. Because the destruction, before the destruction of any economy, before any society or kingdom, the Most High sends out prophets. As it is written in Amos chapter 3, verse 7. Surely the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah will do nothing, but he sends forth but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. Okay? Just like he did in old time, he does here in these latter days. The Most High don't change. Malachi chapter 3, verse 6. I am the Lord thy God, I change not. Therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. So the Most High wants to put an end to the controversy of Zion. Okay? Salakia. Isaiah 34, verse 8. For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance, and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion. So 2026 might be the year. Remember, we're still in January. Look what Donald Trump did all last year from January. Every day that motherfucker signed an executive order. Every day. You are under martial motherfucking law, but he's doing it softly. That's the reason why he's coming in with threatening the Insurrection Act. He's doing it deliberately. Isaiah chapter 34, verse 9. And the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burning pitch. Right? So that's during the destruction of Babylon the Great here in America. Everything's going to be down here, left here and melted. Houses, buildings, all this shit's going to be melted by thermonuclear heat. That's when I made the biblical scripture, mention it, of Isaiah 54 and 16, where the Most High created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and he had made the waster to destroy. The waster is the thermonuclear destruction, the thermonuclear weapons, the ICBM thermonuclear weapons, the arrows, okay, in the book of Job, chapter 20, of which I'm going to go to next, right? And the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burning pitch. Verse 10, Isaiah chapter 34, verse 10. It shall not be quenched, night nor day. The smoke thereof shall go up forever. From generation to generation, it shall lie waste. None shall pass through it forever and ever. Right? So the Most High's plan is to destroy Babylon the Great. Recompense means payback. Let's get it. Damn, where's Google at? Oh, okay. Let's Google it. Okay, recompense. Recompense, definition. Recompense means to give compensation or a reward for service, loss, or suffering, acting as both a verb, to pay or repay, and a noun, the payment or reward itself, often implying a just return for effort or damage, seen legal, personal, and biblical context as a payment for wrongs or a reward for good deeds. Okay, so let's state it again. Okay, some dude came by here and took a picture of my tag on my car. Goddamn Edomite Caucasian with a Texas tag, license plate WHT 7178. Okay, a white Texas license plate. WHT 7178. Google that for me, so I can find out who the fuck they is. You want to look at my tag, pussy? I'm gonna look at yours and tell the entire universe while I'm at it. Anyway, Isaiah chapter 59, verse 17. Isaiah 59 and 17. For he put on righteousness as a breastplate and an helmet of salvation upon his head. And he put on the garments of vengeance for clothing, and was clad with zeal as a cloak. According to their deeds, accordingly he will repay fury to his adversaries, recompense to his enemies. To the islands he will repay recompense. So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. So their standard, we hoping it here at the Apostles and Elders of Great Millstone and other righteous men, we hoping to receive spiritual power from the Lord to protect ourselves and our family from harm. But of course, the Most High is going to save Jacob, the elect of the house of Israel, out of Jacob's trouble. Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7. Alas, for their day is great, so that there is none like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And that he that will be saved out of Jacob's trouble are the elect, that the Most High chose before the foundation of the earth. Okay? Right? Isaiah chapter 59, verse 20. And the Redeemer shall come to Zion, and unto them that turn from transgression in Jacob, saith the Lord. He didn't say that he's going to return and save them and come to Zion, and unto them that turn from transgression in Esau. He didn't say them that turn from transgression in Moab. He didn't say turn from transgression in Ammon. Okay, which are the Chinese and the Japanese and the Edomite Caucasians. He said Jacob. And Jacob consists of 12 tribes of Israel. Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Gad, Manasseh, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, and Issachar. Okay? So he's coming to save the elect out of the 12 tribes. The remnant of Israel shall be saved. Those that call upon the name of the Lord shall be delivered. So if you don't know the true Hebrew name of the Most High, you're going to be left here and melted. Most people, they call upon Yahweh. Yahweh is based on Latin. Latin is not Hebrew. Other people call upon Jehovah. The letter J was created in 1524 by John Giorgio Trissino. Okay, an Amalekite biblical scholar. Okay, so if you don't know the Hebrew name of the Most High, you're going to be left here and melted. Okay, let's get it. The name of the Lord. Yah-ha-wah-ha, Yahweh. And the name of his only begotten son. Yah-ha-wah-shai, Yahweh. Okay? The real name of the Father is Yahweh. Yah-ha-wah-ha, Yahweh. Which means he is, he will be, he exists. Okay? Yah-ha-wah-shai, Yahweh. Which means the name of the Son. He saves, he delivers, he is salvation. Like it says in the book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 32, he that calleth upon the name of the Lord shall be delivered. Delivered from what? Jacob's trouble. See? See? The founder of the state of Israel, David Ben-Gurion, in 1947 to 1948 was an atheist. Okay? The late president of Egypt, Gamal Abdel Nasser, stated when asked about peace in the Middle East the Jews will never be able to live here in peace because they left here black and came back white. Okay? That's the reason why the controversy of Zion is out there, okay? And these Edomites are trying to recontrol the narrative, of which they never will be able to do. Okay? Here's a little history fact for you. On the eve of May 14th, 1948, the Arabs launched an air attack on Tel Aviv, which the Israelis resisted. Right? Now, how did the Israelis, being such a small number of people, able to resist the Arabs at that time? Because they were backed by American military. That's why. Okay? This action was followed by the invasion of the former Palestinian Mandate by Arab armies from Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, and Egypt. Saudi Arabia sent a formation that fought on the Egyptian command. So even the Saudi Arabians are against these goddamn Amalekite Khazars. Okay? These are Khazar deniers. We're not from Khazaria. You're a goddamn liar. Okay? Why is the Bolshevik Russians from the country of Rosh fighting against the Ukrainians of the land of Khazaria? Ukraine and Khazaria are the same place. Okay? The Caucasian Edomites come from South Russia. South Russia is Ukraine, Khazaria. Okay? It's a part of Russia. EU NATO wants to annex what do you call them? The Ukraine, which is Khazaria, from Russia. So this way they could be, they could use democracy. Look at democracy today. Let's read about democracy. Let's go get it. Romans, chapter 1. Let's start at verse 22. Romans chapter 1, verse 22. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools and changed the glory of the uncorruptible power into an image made like corruptible man, and to birds and foul-footed beasts and creeping things. Right? Wherefore the Most High God gave them up also up to uncleanness through the lusts of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves, who changed the truth of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua into a lie, and worshiped and served the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. The Creator is blessed forever. Amen. The Creator, his name is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, the Creator of the heavens, the earth, the sea, all that is therein, and the foundation of water. Verse 26, for this cause the Most High Yahweh gave them up unto vile affections. For even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one toward another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error, which was meat. Push and shove, punching each other in the fucking fudge. That's democracy. So EU and NATO that willingly and openly pursue this democratic, free thinking way of life, right, wants Khazaria, Ukraine, which is part of South Russia, to partake in the same thing. And Vladimir Putin, Gog and Magog, ain't having it. Okay? Hell, America is surrounded. by military troops right now, man. Yeah, sure is. It's like it. Romans chapter 1, verse 28. And even as they did not like to retain the Most High in their knowledge, the Most High gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient. Okay? Being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity whisperers, backbiters, haters of the Most High, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents, without understanding, covenant breakers, without natural affection, implacable, unmerciful, who knowing the judgment of the Most High, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them. That's democracy in a nutshell. Do as thou wilt. Do it till you're satisfied. Just do it. Okay? So the Most High is going to put an end to the controversy that these Edomites have sparked amongst his people. Because our people right now, they don't believe that the Most High chose them above all nations upon the face of the earth. They just want to get along to get along. They just want to fit in. Okay? They don't have a rulership mentality. So 2/3 of our people have to be left here to be melted by thermonuclear destruction and great fervent heat because their love of doing wrong is more than their love to do right. This is the only way that the Most High can put an end to the controversy of Zion. Because these devils believe that they are in control of the narrative. That they are God's chosen people. Those Amalekite Khazars over there that call themselves JOOs and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. The only people on earth that attend a goddamn synagogue are them. Come on, man. The Bible tell you what the fuck's going on? Goofy bastards. Anticipation, the act of expecting or foreseeing something. Expectation or presentment. An expectation. Let's get wow. What the fuck? Let's get Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 11. For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. And our expected end is salvation. The kingdom of heaven on earth in the Lord's Prayer. That's our expected end. To rule over our oppressors. Verse 12. Jeremiah chapter 29. Verse 12, then shall ye call upon me, and you shall go and pray unto me, and I will hearken unto you. Right? So the only way to be able to pray to the Most High God, okay, is you have to know his name. Remember, he is the God of the Hebrew Israelites. Yahweh Shah, the person you ignorantly call Jesus Christ, spoke to Paul the Apostle on the way to Damascus in Hebrew. He did not speak to him in fucking English. Okay? That's the problem. Our people believe that you can call God's name Yahweh and Yahushua and be saved, which are based on vowel points and on the Latin and Greek pronunciation of what those two words are. Okay? The true names of the Most High and His Son is Yahweh, as I stated earlier in the video, and Yahushua. All those that call upon the name of the Lord shall be delivered. If you do not know these names, you will be left here and melted. Let's get Ezekiel chapter 22, verse 18. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, Son of man, the house of Israel is to me become dross. All they are brass and tin and iron and lead in the midst of the furnace. They are even the dross of silver. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, because ye are all become dross, behold, therefore I will gather you in the midst of Jerusalem. Okay, in the midst of Jerusalem, Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. Okay, Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. So wherever the people are, okay, that is Jerusalem. The hood, the barrio, and the reservations. Okay? As they gather silver and brass and iron and lead and tin in the midst of the furnace to blow the fire upon it to melt it, so will I gather you in mine anger and in my fury, and I will leave you there and melt you. Okay? So clearly the Most High God intention is to leave you here and melt you. Yep, I will gather you and blow upon you in the fire of my wrath, and ye shall be melted in the midst thereof. As silver is melted in the midst of the furnace, so shall ye be melted in the midst thereof, and ye shall know that I, the Lord, have poured out my fury upon you. Okay? 2 Peter chapter 3, right? Verse 9. The Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long-suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. Right? The Most High wants you to change your mind, change your way of thinking, change your life. Cut off that long hair like a fucking woman. You are not a woman. You are a man. Paul the Apostle said, it is a shame for a man to have long hair. Why do you have long hair like a goddamn woman? Are you effeminate? The Most High does not like effeminate men. Let's get it. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1. Know this also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. Okay? Now, I mentioned in there effeminate. So if you got long hair of a woman and you are a grown fucking man, you are showing signs of being effeminate. And God does not like you. Okay? You people need to understand that the Most High God in heaven, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, does not give a damn about no other nation on earth but the Israelites. Period. God does not love everybody. That is a lie put out by the Catholic Church. Now, where was I at? Damn, I forgot. Oh, 2 Peter. 2 Peter chapter 3. Verse 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. Okay? You are part of the works of the Most High God in heaven, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. You will be left here and melted. You will be left here and burned up with great fervent heat. The great fervent heat of having an atom split in your face. And you will burn to a cinders. Okay? This is a punishment from the Most High God that you do not want. Okay? Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? Your entire conversation should be about getting out of here, blessing the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua with all thy mind and with all thy heart. Right? Loving thy neighbor as thyself. Does Esau show signs of loving thy neighbor when he's putting people in concentration camps, detention facilities, right? Hanging them from a fucking tree, shooting them down, making them subject to summary execution on the spot? That's what's going to give ICE all the fucking power they need, is the implementation of the Insurrection Act. Because not only will it be in Minneapolis, California, Chicago, Texas, but it's also going to be nationwide in all other states as well. Back to Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 11. For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. Then shall ye call upon me, and ye shall go and pray unto me, and I will hearken unto you. And ye shall seek me and find me, when ye shall search for me with all your heart. And I will be found of you, saith the Lord. And I will turn away your captivity, and I will gather you from all nations and from all the places whither I have driven you. Right? So the Most High put us in the hand of the wicked, and the wicked scattered us into all the nations on the earth. So the Most High God, in order to redeem us back to himself and put an end to the controversy of Zion, is going to gather us, the elect, those of us that know his name and believe on the works of Yahushua HaMashiach, whose blood covereth us, and believe in the resurrection. Okay, the Lord will gather us unto himself. He will gather us from all the nations and from all the places whither he has driven us, saith the Lord, and I will bring you again into the place which I caused you to be carried away captive. Why? Because ye have said, the Lord hath raised us up prophets in Babylon. Okay? So, like I said before, in Amos chapter 3, verse 7, surely the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua would do nothing, but he revealed the secrets unto his servants, the prophets. Also, in the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 1, hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities. So the Most High gave us into the hand of the wicked, as I stated before, as part of our punishment for not keeping his law, statutes, and commandments. For our people telling the prophets, prophesy not unto us smooth things, prophesy unto us right things. No, prophesy deceit. They want to hear lies. They want to hear mistruths. They want to hear God loves everybody. They don't want to be saved at all. Okay? So the Most High put us in their hands to do with whatever they listed, and scattered us unto all nations. So the Most High is going to receive us unto himself again. Right? Because, like he said, of all the families of the earth, you only have I known. So the Most High is only dealing with the Israelites. He's not dealing with all nations. Isaiah 40 and 15, as I stated before, the Lord says, all nations are as a drop of a bucket and are counted for the dust of the balance. That means that the Most High doesn't give a shit about the heathen nations. All he cares about are the Israelites, man. That's the only family on the earth that he cares for. Okay? Micah 2 and 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. Is not sedition, okay? What did I say that was earlier? I forgot what that was, man. Summary execution. Damn, I forgot. I misplaced it. Well, I have to get it later then. No, here it is. Okay. Right. Under summary execution is the act of unaliving a person without a fair trial or legal process. Now, once Donald Trump enacts the Insurrection Act, you can go to jail for nothing. You don't have a legal process or a fair trial. They just put your ass straight in prison forever if they want to, and throw away the goddamn key. Okay? What is it called? Counterinsurgency. Summary executions are used to enforce compliance and terrorize a population. And that's what ICE is doing. They're trying to go from city to city, all through Minneapolis, terrorizing the population. Right? Donald Trump ain't got to invoke the Insurrection Act. Okay? He could just tell the goddamn the military to go in there and enact martial law. Just for that particular state. He ain't got to do the Insurrection Act, but they got to get the New World Order off the program, off the ground. They got to start chipping people with these RFID micro C-hips, the size of a grain of rice, which is the mark of the beast. They got to start putting quantum dot technology underneath your skin. They're trying to be the first ones to implement 6G and be the world leaders. Okay? That's what they're doing. Micah 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands. And they covet fields and take them by violence. Did not Donald Trump, by violence, take Venezuela and kidnap a sovereign president out of his own country? That motherfucker set a precedent that all the rest of these nations are scared to death for. They asking for help from Gog and Magog, which is Russia. People go by here throwing up the Baal fist, you know, all that old bullshit. Right on, brother. But they won't do nothing that the Bible tells them. They won't do nothing I tell them that the Bible tells them they should do. They hear thy words, but they will not do them. Most drive by here scoffing and mocking and flipping me off with the fucking bird. What the fuck? They're just trying to get the people ready for martial law. Like it says before, it is a tactic used to enforce compliance and terrorize a population. That's what the fuck they're out to do, man. They trying to do shit down here. They had fire trucks and police sirens in Minnesota when the people started rioting. Then they put the police out there. That didn't work. Then they sent ICE in. Right? Now ICE is just putting everybody in jail. Fuck it. Without a fair trial. Without legal process. In order to terrorize the people. Through the Insurrection Act, which freezes the Posse Comitatus Act. Okay, that's going to put you at odds in to be put in prison whenever they want to. At random. It was originally set up to come against the prophets. Because, like it says in Wisdom of Solomon, if I can get that. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. These Edomite devils are scared, man. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of them of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for. Right? They are troubled with terrible fear. Right? Let's go get Revelation chapter 11, Verse 7. Revelation chapter 11, verse 7. And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascendeth up out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them and shall overcome them and kill them. So our lives may be forfeit under the regime of Agent Orange, Nero 47, in the fucking reincarnation, Donald Trump, the orange-colored fellow. Okay? Because he's openly racist, allowing immigration, customs, and enforcement agents to be infiltrated by the Ku Klux Klan and other white supremacist groups, the Proud Boys and everything else. Okay? And allowing them to become part as patriots of the Immigration, Customs, and Enforcement Agency. And they are to come out there asking for ID. You got to prove you're an American citizen now? Why is that? Hell, are we in 1930s Nazi Germany? What the fuck? Show your papers, please. We're back to show your papers, please. We're back to motherfucking military choke points on these street corners. You can't leave your neighborhood without showing your papers, please. Showing your ID, please. It's all a tactic to enforce compliance and terrorize the population. That's what it's for, man. These goddamn Edomites are gonna die. They know it. It's coming. They are at the end of their rulership. That's the reason why everything is falling apart. White people losing jobs? How the fuck does that work? White people can't find a job? That's impossible. How the fuck does that work? Unless the Most High God put judgment on him to fail. See? So the curses of Deuteronomy that's been put on the Israelites are doing reversal and coming back on the Edomites. Those that came up out of the bottomless pit, that came out of Khazaria, that came out of the Caucasus Mountains, that crawled up from the clefts of the rock. The troglodytes, the Edomites, the Caucasians. They're all definitions of the same people. Cave dwellers. Okay? And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. America is spiritual Sodom and Egypt. Everybody's got to go to work as a fucking slave to the slave master to pay their bills and go back to work as a slave to pay their bills to give their money to the slave master. Okay? Everybody's got to do it. And their spiritual Sodom through LBGTQXYZ plus. Okay? Verse 9. And they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. We're spiritually dead for the most part, 2/3 of our people, because they are not aware that they're the Israelites, but they're waking up to the fact that they're the Israelites. And this is causing terrible fear among the elite, because they know that this is a spiritual battle. This is spiritual warfare. They know it. See? And us waking up is a blessing to us and a curse to them. So everything is falling apart for them. So when their society starts to fall apart, therefore, by default, rises our society, which is the kingdom of heaven on earth. These Edomites are scared. Like it says in Isaiah, Psalms 149. Let's go get it and then go back to 11. Psalms 149 verse 6. Let the high praises of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua be in their mouth and a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. That's what these Edomite Caucasians and the elites at the top are afraid of at the World Economic Forum. And Davos, Switzerland, right today, they're trying to figure out what they're going to do to put a stop to the prophets preaching against their kingdom. Because we're not violating any laws. All we're doing is preaching out of a Bible. So they're trying to come against us to find out what legalism they could use against us to make us stop preaching on street corners. Okay? That's what they ought to do next. To bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. To execute upon them this judgment written, this honor have all his saints, praise ye the Lord. Who are the saints of Israel? The 12 tribes. Remember the fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, not Abraham, Isaac, and Esau. Okay? Esau-Edom is a Caucasian Edomite. He's a troglodyte, a cave dweller. He has no culture to recompense on, to fall back on. He doesn't have a culture. He's a culture vulture. He steals the culture and natural resources of other nations of people and pretend to be them. That's what these Edomites do. The only recourse they have is to steal, kill, and to destroy. That's the only recourse they got. They don't have nothing else. 1 John 10 and 10. The thief cometh not before to steal, kill, and to destroy. That's all they know. Everybody else can go back to being peaceable and trade and barter. Esau doesn't know how to trade and barter peaceably. He knows how to steal it, kill you, and pretend to be you. Revelation chapter 11. And they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. Now, being that we're spiritually dead, not aware that we're the Israelites of the Holy Bible, we were dead bodies. But our dead bodies are coming alive because now we're waking up to the fact that we're God's chosen people. And these goddamn crackers don't like it. They don't want us to know that we're the Israelites. They will not suffer our dead bodies to be put in graves. They don't want us to know that we're God's chosen people. They don't want to put it away. They want to continue to rub it in our face and have a complete rule and oppression over us. Verse 10, Revelation chapter 11, verse 10. and they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another. At one point in time, the gifts were slaves and souls of men, found in Revelation chapter 18. We were the gifts that they were sending back and forth one to another. What race of people that you know that will set a grown man on fire in the middle of the street, take pictures with 100 people behind him while he's burning in the street, and send postcards to one another for Christmas? What nation of people would do something so fucking wicked? Because these two prophets tormented them that dwelt on the earth. How do we torment these crackers? By preaching out of a Bible on the street corner? That's torment. That's torture to these fucking bastards. They have the power of the sword. They can go up and down in the earth and steal other nations' natural resources, put presidents in prison, charge them with fault, steal their natural resources, put a puppet up in place of the president that they are kidnapped. Right? How are we causing fear? I don't make no fucking sense. I'm still trying to figure out how are we tormenting these Edomites. What the fuck? All we're doing is standing on the street corner, preaching out of a Bible. You mean to tell me I'm your enemy because I stand up here and tell you the truth to your face instead of telling you a goddamn lie? Revelation chapter 11, verse 11. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. So we make these bastards tremble in their boots at night. They go to Davos, Switzerland right now trying to figure out a way to shut us down, outside of taking down the internet and enacting martial law. Great fear has fallen upon these Edomites in order for them to fumble around in the dark as in the noonday, tripping over themselves, coming up with different laws and regulations to put a stop to the truth. They're hemorrhaging the truth. The people are waking up and doing research. How are the hidden things of Esau sought out? How are his hidden things brought up? Research. White people are actually ashamed of what their ancestors did to the Indians. George Washington gonna take the teeth out of a dead corpse and put it in his own mouth? Nasty son of a bitch. Really? Wow. So after I'm dead, you gonna pull my teeth out and put it in your mouth. Wow. So not only did you take pictures from people hanging from a light post, right, or from a tree, and hundreds of people standing around it, set a man on fire in the middle of the goddamn street, and fight over his bones for souvenirs. Not only did you do that, but then you take my teeth out and put them in your mouth. You have to be a caveman. Only a goddamn caveman would do something so wicked. Okay? but the Most High is returned to take power out of your hands. Jeremiah chapter 13. Verse 23. Can the Ethiopian change his skin, or the leopard his spots? Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil. So that biblical scripture right there states that it's impossible for you to be politically correct, Edomite Caucasian. Let's go get more proof of that. Psalms 55:19. God shall afflict them, God shall hear and afflict them, he that abideth of old, Selah. Because they have no changes, therefore they fear not the Most High. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him, he hath broken his covenant. Okay? See? You see how Jeremiah chapter 13 verse 23 goes with this as a biblical precept? He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him, he hath broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. So the Bible is saying, Edomite Caucasian, that it is virtually impossible for you to be a Christian. It is impossible for you to pretend to be a righteous man. It's impossible. Because war is in your heart, and you put forth your hands against those that don't fight back. Let's read it again. Jeremiah chapter 13 verse 23. Can the Ethiopian change his skin, or the leopard his spots? Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil. So you Edomite devils are so goddamn accustomed to do evil, you can't do good. It's impossible. Let's go get another one. Ecclesiasticus chapter 14. Verse 5. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his goods. There is none worse than he that envieth himself, and this is a recompense of his wickedness. Agent Orange envieth himself. That motherfucker's in the mirror every day. I'm so handsome. I'm this, I'm that. You know? Donald Trump, fucking weirdo. A convicted felon and pedophile, right? Serial rapist, right? Grapist. Ecclesiasticus chapter 14 verse 7. And my point. And if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly, and at the last he will declare his wickedness. Everything he did for the so-called Edomite Caucasian white man, he did it unwillingly, because he wanted to hoard all the money, natural resources, and power to himself, to enrich himself and his friends, who are the international bankers. Right? Now he's declaring his wickedness by sicking ice on the so-called white man. He's declaring his wickedness and how wicked a president he is, letting you know he is not for you, but he is against you. And he's going to declare his wickedness before it's over by implementing the Insurrection Act and put your ass in a FEMA camp some goddamn where. Watch and see. Okay. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 4. The Lord hath made all things for himself, yep, even the wicked, for the day of evil. And the day of evil is coming for you Edomite, Caucasian, troglodyte, goddamn cave beast. Remember, you Caucasian bastards, you crawled out of a fucking cave. We showed you how to eat. We showed you how to wash your ass. We showed you how to stand up straight. And you stabbed us in the back, stole our land, and put us on a goddamn reservation. So now, payback is a bitch. Because Donald Trump is going to enact martial law and put your punk ass in jail where you belong. Okay? What is you mad at us for? For telling you the truth? Proverbs chapter 4, verse 14, 13. Take fast hold of instruction. Let her not go. Keep her, for she is thy life. What are the instructions? Fear God and keep his commandments. For this is the whole duty of man. What does Esau do? Let's find out. Psalms chapter 50, verse 16. But unto the wicked, Yahweh saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldst take thy covenant in thy mouth? Seeing thou hatest instructions, seeing thou hatest instruction, and castest my words behind thee. Does not the white man say that the law is done away with? Goddamn nigga Christian church say the law is done away with so they can get away with doing whatever evil they doing. See? Going back to Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 14, enter not into the path of the wicked, go not in the way of evil men, avoid it, pass not by it, turn from it, and pass away. For they sleep not except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. Okay? And two-thirds of our people are going to be left here and melted because they love Esau-Edom, the so-called white man, more than they love the truth of the Holy Scriptures. Our people hate the truth, man. They don't want to hear it. It's crazy. Daniel chapter 12, verse 10. Many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. So the only people that are going to understand this truth are the elect of the house of Israel. Those that have been pre-selected, predetermined for salvation in these last days, that have the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Them is the only people that are going to get out of here. Because this is the only way to put an end to the controversy of Zion. Zion means the memorial of Israel. Okay? And the memorial of Israel is the elect remnant of the house of Israel. Those are the individuals that are going to be saved. Isaiah chapter 10, verse 20. And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, the Holy One of Israel, in truth. And that's what we're doing. We're rehearsing the righteous acts to the best of our ability based on the Gregorian calendar of the new moon Sabbath of every month. Okay, from sundown to sundown. Okay, that's one of the righteous acts. Okay, another one of the righteous acts is to come out of the way of Babylon the Great and practicing and rehearsing the righteous acts of the Lord and of his apostles and prophets. We're doing the best we can, but we're covered by the blood and the name of Yahushua Mashiach through the resurrection of Yahushua and his blood that he shed for us. So the only people that are going to get out of here are the Israelites that know the name of the Lord. Remember, Paul was spoken to by Yahushua in Hebrew. So the Son of God's name is a Hebrew name. It ain't no goddamn Jesus. That ain't his name. I just told you early in the video, in 1524, the letter J was developed for the Italian language. It wasn't even developed for the English language. The English language is a bastardized language of Dutch, German, Italian, and French. Okay? You need to understand that. Isaiah chapter 10, verse 21, the remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob unto the mighty power. For though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return. The consumption decreed shall overflow with righteousness. That consumption decreed is 2/3 of our people going to be left here and melted, left here to die. Okay? That's right. The mark of the beast is the RFID chip. They have to implement martial law. See? Our people come by here. They see these receipts. Our people come by here, they see these receipts, and they tripping. Because I show them what the mark of the RFID, the mark of the beast is. See that? Huh? Mark of the beast. This is the mark of the beast. The RFIDNFICCHIP. Okay? You cannot, I repeat, you cannot repent after having received it. So when they shut down the system and the power goes out, there's a rolling blackout. People are killing each other in the street. People start kicking each other's fucking door in. The only way that they're going to bring any normalcy back to society is the implementation of this micro C-HIP. This is the only means to buy and sell in a cashless society. Okay? This is what it's going to have on it. Okay? That's why they want to put it in your body. It's going to have your medical records. It's going to have your jab records. It's going to have your monetary compensation where you work, and it's going to have your digital ID. Okay? So I try to tell them summary execution, auto app KO. Let me go off and do second Ezra's. I've been out here since 1 o'clock, no, 12 o'clock. Been out here 3 hours, okay. Let's go into second Ezra's. We go into it every week. Chapter 16. Second Ezra chapter 16, verse 68. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you, and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols. And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot. Okay? So those individuals that join ICE and join the fucking military, okay, willingly, are going to be trodden underfoot. They're going to be talked about, made proverbs of reproach. They're going to be told how stupid you are. How ignorant can you be to help us to destroy your own people? Shit like that. Okay? And they that consent, okay, verse 70, for there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. Hell, you got an insurrection jumping off in Minnesota, in California, in Chicago. Okay? You're going to have that shit jumping off in Iran. Already. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. You can see that shit with ICE. That's just the beginning. They got 250,000 white supremacists and Ku Klux Klan members that have joined ICE. 250,000. What the actual fuck? They're going to start kicking in people's door. They don't care if you're white or black. If you can't prove that you're an American citizen, fuck you. Go to the FEMA camp. That's where you're going. They're going to leave your house open, your food, all of your belongings, your car keys, everything. And just leave it there. Second Ezra, chapter 16, verse 72. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Right? ICE is talking about going door to door. That's a biblical prophecy right there. Let's read it again. If ICE is going door to door, right? For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. What the fuck is that if that's not going door to door to take you, snatch you out of your house? Right? Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. So the first people that the Most High chose are Israelites. Okay? And they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. Hear ye, O my beloved, saith the Lord. Behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. Okay? So the Most High is only going to deliver a select few individuals that have been predetermined and pre-selected before the foundation of the earth to be saved, to get his name, and to rehearse the righteous acts. which is to fear God and keep his commandments. Them is the only people that are going to make it. Everybody else, the Most High don't want in his kingdom. Hear ye, O my beloved, saith the Lord, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi is your guide, and the guide of them who keep my commandments and precepts, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi. Let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities lift up themselves. Okay? Back to Daniel, chapter 12, verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was, since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that should be found written in the book. So with that, I'm going to go on and get on out of here, because clearly the people ain't listening. They don't give a fuck. All they care about is what they want and their needs. They don't care about what the Most High wants. So, praise the Lord. Call halal Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahawashi, Ba'ashem Rahawakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for pushing 100% truth to rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect that have been scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth, that look like the heathen nations as a speckled bird. Shalom. Azaniah, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahawashi, Shemai, Azaniah, La'arapayat, Bayawam, Tazaral, Hachzakwanaya, Yaquab Tazar, Ba'ashem Yahawashi, the water, Amen. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi, hear me, help me, not faint in the day of adversity, but strengthen me in Jacob's trouble. In the name of Yahawashi HaMashiach, thank you, so let it be done. Alahaya Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi, Shemai, Alahaya Ma'ayadya Hatazayanaya, Mamatakwak Mamamaya, Yaquab Tazar, Ba'ashem Yahawashi, the water, Amen. Oh my God, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi, oh my God, mine enemies, deliver me from them that rise up against me. In Jacob's trouble, in the name of Yahawashi HaMashiach, thank you, so let it be done. Shemai Azaniah La'azarthaya La'azabanaya Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi Alaya La'atharacha Mamaya Chawasha La'azathaya. Oh my God, be not far from me. Make haste to help me, O Lord of my salvation. Shalom.